in the hotel industry, there's a lot of fucking cheating. It's like having like a Mexican dad, you know?
Oh, you're saying like your guest.
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating. A lot of guests just fucking cheat. It's just and like you don't know it until like after the fact. But like you can kind of see sometimes where these guys are a little like ugly and they got some fine ass women. You know, the money had something to play with that.
Okay.
And so a lot of these times, these people, especially who like have a hella money, they got whole ass families, and the way hotels are set up, you have to like pay with card.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Nomo, chilling right here in the Lit Out It podcast. Got a very special guest in the building, Mister.
What's going on? This is Davey, the motherfucking Don, aka just Davey. If you know me as my friend, how's it going out here, bro?
Shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming to the pod.
No, thank you for having me. Honestly, it was a drive, but fucking love this place. Honestly.
I just heard how far you drove here.
Yeah.
God damn, that's a long ass drive. Well, welcome to Southgate. Probably your first and last time ever gonna be in Southgate.
No. Like, I've been in Southgate before.
Oh,
but
you have?
yeah. But my family lives like I was born in Hollywood and I lived in Northeast LA.
Okay.
Growing up, so I lived in Eagle Rock, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, growing up, it was up until I was 5. But most of my family's from like Northeast LA, like Burbank, Glendale, the whole nine. You know, so
Okay.
Southgate is like neighbors. You know.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah.
Actually. Just take the 710 up there and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get started, we
All
gotta
right.
give a big shout out to the homie right here, our sponsor for the show, the Michi Man. On Instagram, you can find him at big_E_the Michi Man. Some of the most fire micheladas out here in the city.
Yeah.
They're actually from Inglewood, but you know they serve all the way from the 405 to the 105.
Yeah,
Are you
damn.
a michelada man?
Oh yeah, I fuck with micheladas, bro, because that's where usually like the bitches are. Nah, just fucking
Micheladas get the bitches. You know, make sure you guys follow the Michi
Yeah.
Man. But here's a sticker for you so you can kind of check them
Yeah,
out.
for real. Shout out to my girl on that one. Honestly, shouldn't be mad already.
You fucking 10 seconds in, you already fucking up, huh?
Yeah, I have to, bro. Low key.
Shit.
I gotta hear it, bro.
You just have to get her, man.
Yeah. It just makes for a better conversation.
But again, shout out to the Michi Man. Let's get started, dog. So where are you coming from? Well, you said you were born in Northeast.
Yeah, so I was born in Northeast LA,
Okay.
and then when my little brother was born, my family wanted to get us out of the shit, you know.
Right.
And so we moved out to like Fontana, and like
Fontucky.
Fontucky, bro, fucking little ass town before it blew up. But I grew up out there, went to college in Santa Barbara, and then came back to Fontana, and then just recently, I think a year and a half, I moved up to the big Hesperia,
The big H.
the big H, HD, H town, bro. That's what me and Gazelle call it.
He lives out there too?
Yeah, he lives like 10 minutes from me.
Oh, that's tight. How far is that from the IE?
It's technically still considered the IE,
Okay.
because it's still in like San Bernardino County, but San Bernardino County goes all the way up to fucking almost like Nevada, you know?
Yeah, San Bernardino, isn't that the biggest county in the world or some shit? Or not
Yeah.
the world, but the country.
Yeah, I think so, because like right next to is Riverside County, and that one's like pretty small, but I still consider myself IE. Spent most of my life in the IE, you know?
You said you went to Santa Barbara. Is that UC Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I want to use Santa
shit.
Barbara.
That's-
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the most like legendary party schools, right?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't make it past a year. I'm not gonna lie.
Why? What happened? Tell me.
So like low key, I fucked up. I went out there with the girl, like that was my girl at the time, and she was like very small town minded. You know, she'd never been outside, like never had her like real hoe phase. You know, so as soon as she got a chance to get out there and party, like it was pretty intense. And I was going through it like not like being alone. You know.
Yeah.
And she would do some crazy shit, bro. Like I would always pick her up from parties, and my homies would be like, "Nah, bro, she's got to learn like this and that." And there was one time I was like, I had to go to bed because I had like a pretty big test the next morning.
Right.
And she was drunk at a party, and she calls me to pick her up, and it was like 3 a.m. And then my homie's like, "Nah, don't pick her up, like this and that." And she's like, "Oh, all right, like I guess I'll just walk." And I was like, "Bro, like what the fuck?" And like you know, like yeah, rape
Wait,
culture.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Your girl's partying without you.
Yeah. That was also one of the big problems. That like I left her like right after that.
Okay.
You know, so that was one of like the bigger problems because like I mean like I'm not really like insecure. Like I'm not really like I'm protective over my people, but like
Right.
like I don't know if my girl like wants to do shit like that's their that's like you know what they want to do because I want to do shit, you know, and I don't want to hear it. So like you know I'm gonna be okay with it, whatever. But she was like definitely manipulative. So I dropped out of school, stayed for a little while to try to make things work, and then
Wait, you dropped out and stayed over there?
yeah, for a little bit. But during that time, because me and her were like not together, I was fucking living like a maniac, bro. Like I was just doing a lot of fucked shit, bro.
Like
Like
what? What do you
I
mean?
was so like I was dating. I started dating a stripper at the time, you know, while I
That's
still was
what-
trying to fix things with my girl, you know, whatever.
That's fun.
Yeah. And the cool thing was because I like I was a broke college student, and she had bread, and like I fucked up because I told her like I was like, oh, I'm 22, I'm only 18 at the time, And we were dating for like maybe like 2 months, and she was like buying me shit, inviting me over to her house, all this like sugar mama shit, bro. You know, real sugar mama shit. And one day she goes, oh, she texted me, she's like, hey, do you want to go out and like get drinks? And I was like, no. And she's like, why not? And I was like, I can't. I'm 8, like I can't buy drinks. She's like, why not? I was like, I'm dumbass not remembering what I said to her. I was like, cause I'm 18, and then nothing, bro, just silent. And I think that was but I was doing a lot of crazy shit too. I also got arrested out there too.
Wait, hold on. So you told her you're 18 and she just like never texted you back?
Yeah, never.
Ghosted you?
Yeah.
And you never went to like, go look for her job or whatever?
Nah, fuck no. I don't like strip clubs.
Was she you found her at the strip club?
Nah, I found her at the supermarket.
Oh, because you're that kind of player, huh?
I'm smooth. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm pretty smooth. You know, like being like a bigger dude, I have to be more smooth with my words than I am on my feet, bro. You know. Okay. You know what I mean?
So you've always been a bigger dude too?
Yeah, since I was little. Even when I was skinny, bro, the skinniest I could have ever been was like 180.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and I was still thicker. People would still be like, "Oh, you still need to lose like 20 pounds." And I'm like, I don't know, bro.
I feel that.
So.
But like picking up girls at the supermarket is like that's a different type of level, you know?
Well, yeah, it's because like I'm really good when it comes to older women, specifically moms, because it's like I don't know, I still have like that boyish charm, but I look like a grown man, so like they like that shit, you know what I mean? Especially like when you like, like talk to them like if they were like younger again, you know what I mean, and be like, oh, like no way you're a mom, like yeah, like no my way. Kid's probably your age, and I was like, how old do you think I am? They're like you're a baby, like this and that, and I was like, yeah, I'll be your baby, like like some shit, and the like girls, like I mean at the time they ate it up, but like that what got her attention was that like I wasn't like trying to pursue it too crazy, and so that worked out. But anyways, I dropped out of school. I like tried to work it out, and then we like I ghosted her. Like I didn't even like tell her like I'm done.
Oh, your girlfriend, the one that was partying.
Yeah. So I just left, never came back.
Okay, doc. So UC Santa Barbara, right? Legendary school. I only know pretty much is because Andrew Schultz always says like it's a party school. That's where he went, right?
Yeah.
So what makes it a party school? Like, what did you see for yourself that like?
Well, it's because it's on the beach, and like what makes it like a crazy party school is that they dedicate a whole city to all college students. There's like literally like only police and college students living in like a city that's like pretty like a equivalent to a small town, but the population of like a like medium like metropolitan town or like city.
Okay.
So it's like a gang of people that like are just fucking around, like, you know what I mean? Like fucking STDs are a big thing, rape's a big thing. Damn. Like, dude, it shit is like a fucking like if living in Africa or something. But like, serious? Yeah, I swear to God, bro. Like, it's like crazy. There's like everyone getting arrested, hella drugs. Like, it's crazy. And then so when they do pull up and do parties and stuff like that, it gets nuts, bro. I remember that my first party there, I was like fucked up, bro. And I like had went like on my own, like just to like, and one of my coworkers had pulled up, and I didn't have like no feelings for her because I was really trying to work shit out with my girl. Mm-hmm. But I think she had some shit for me, and like she just wasn't my type. And we ended up going to this party, and we both got drunk and like fucked up. And they're like, the cops are raiding the party, so we're like, hey, everybody's got to get the fuck out, like this and that. Everyone's like, get the fuck out, like this and that. And I'm like, I'm drunk, I'm outside, and I was like, yo, like Martha, like, has anyone seen Martha?
Where's Martha?
Martha! And I scream, Martha! And then some guys would come up next to me, be like, Martha, where the fuck is Martha? Like this and that. And then I was like, I don't know, bro. Like I kept trying to text her, whatever. And then I'm like fucking like tossed at this point. And I walk over to like my car, and I'm like sitting waiting for, cause she like, at first it took me a while to find my car because I was like lost, Right. And then I found it, and I was like sitting waiting. I was like, dude, she knows where the car is, but like, if it took me this long to find it, it's gonna take her longer. And then I get a call from her phone. I was like, oh, thank God. And I call, I'm like, where you at, Martha? And some other girl's like, hey, like your friend's here fucked up at my house, like you need to go and pick them up, like this and that. And I was like, fuck, like I'm too fucked up. And like, no, like just hurry up and drive by, and you can park your car right there. I was like, all right, for sure, whatever. So I'm like driving, and I'm kind of like a dick, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but I did it to save myself. But I was driving by, and the cops are right there, like trying to like see what's up with her, because she's like at this point probably like got alcohol poisoning,
Oh shit!
But I was like,
fucked up.
Yeah, and I'm driving like fucked up. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be driving, and I see the cops there, and they like already told them what car I have. So as soon as I'm driving by, the girls are like, hey, like pull over right here. Like she's like, she's about to get taken away, and I'm just like driving like I don't see shit going on. I'm like, there's cops, bro. I'm not going. Like, and I pull up somewhere and I get the fuck out. And I see some people sitting on a couch that's outside. And I go and sit down. I was like, hey, bro, like, if the cops come and ask, like, I've been here the whole time. And like, all right, for sure, bro. Like, you've been here the whole time, you know? And I pull out, like, at the time, like I was still slinging weed. So I was like, I pulled out a gang of weed. I was like, hey, like, I don't mind. We could all smoke and, like, wait to see what's going on with this girl, Martha, whatever. And I just keep calling her and nothing. And then I get a call from the hospital. They're like, hey, your friend here just, like, had alcohol poisoning. She needs to be here for, like, another 3 hours and you can come and pick her up. And I was like, all right, fuck it. That was my first time partying.
That was your first time partying?
Yeah.
That was your first party at
UCSB, yeah.
Damn, dog.
Yeah, crazy.
So like it's like when it's a bunch of people first time partying all together, all in one city. Like it's a wild shit show.
Yeah, for sure. It's either your first time or you're fucking like already a legend. Like you're
and you were 18.
Yeah, I was 18. Yeah.
Damn.
Drinking underage, doing.
We have two completely different 18-year-old stories. When I was 18, I went to jail.
Oh, well, I went to jail right after too.
You're still 18?
Yeah. Well, still 18.
For what? For what you go to jail for?
For possession. Yeah.
Of weed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of coke. I had like very little, bro. But like, I was like doing maniac shit, bro. I was like with my stripper girl at the time. She like just had a gang, and so like I was going out with some friends, and I just like I remember when the cops like pulled us over. I didn't even like try. I was like, oh, like it's you guys are gonna be fine. Yeah, I knew I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, just make sure you guys get it right home. Like I just told them. So as soon as they seen it, I was like, got locked up for a little bit and then got out.
Okay, that's fucking crazy, dog.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's strip clubs in that city.
Yeah, I mean, there's strip clubs in every city, bro.
Okay, but like, is that I'm so fascinated with Santa Barbara. Dog.
Yeah,
because I also know that Santa Barbara is also like a vacation spot for families.
Oh yeah, well, so there's Isla Vista, which is this party school, like the city for UC Santa Barbara.
Okay,
it's connected to the campus, and then there's Santa Barbara, which is like wine country.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to like in my mind like put it all on the map. Like, are they just on top of each other, or like they're pretty far?
They're like they're all along the coast, so you'll hit like
it's like Malibu and Santa Monica.
Yeah, basically like that. So it's all on the coast. So you'll hit like all those nice cities first, and the deeper you get in, then it starts to like look a little shitty. Kind of reminds me of LA. And then you get to like Isla Vista, and it's just like it looks nice during the day, and then at night, like fuck, like.
And there's also gangster rappers from out there too, which is also really? Fucking me. Yeah, like Sad Boy Local. You never heard of Sad Boy Local?
No, never.
Damn, he used to be with YG.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's one of the most recent big time Mexican gangster rappers.
Oh yeah.
Then I don't know if he's a gangster. Well, yeah, I think he's a gangster because he's tatted up. He always has guns in his video, but you never know.
No, I know, right? Maybe it's just for show.
Maybe
he's a great guy.
Maybe he's just a great guy. Some other fool, I forget his fucking name, but he was on all over the internet for a time. So damn, dog. And what were you supposed to go to college for? Like to study?
Well, I wanted originally to get my major in philosophy and my minor in English because I was going to become a lawyer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was really good at school. I graduated with like a 4.0 GPA. I was really smart, but the thing is, I was a fucking terrible kid. Like I was terrible. Like I was like selling drugs and like weed like at a very young age, and like no one expected it because like I'm this 4-point student. I was playing baseball. I was one of the top 100 recruits at the time.
Okay.
And so like no one expected it, and then one day I got caught up with a fucking pound of weed at school, and like
you had a pound at school?
Yeah.
Why would you have a pound?
So like we had systems, you know what I mean? So like I would bring the shit, and then my friend had his car that I would leave it in because they don't ever check the cars because he parks like outside of the school, and when we were supposed to let each other know whenever one of us is not gonna be there. And he didn't let me know, and I was like, well, fuck it, like, like, I'm not going to, like, throw this shit, because I'm a dumbass little kid. I'm thinking, like, oh, I can't lose this money. I'm kind of fucked, And then I kept it with me. I almost got through the whole day. I just needed one more period. And then that last period.
They smelled it?
Yeah, I think they smelled it in the period before that, and then the security came, and, like, I just accepted my fate. I was like...
That's twice already accepted
Yeah, that was the first one. I was like, because I was walking out, they called my name, like, Davey Delgado, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm walking out, and they're like, grab your backpack. And I was like, fuck. And I turn around and there's like a couple bags right there. And I could have grabbed one of them and stayed, but I think I had already accepted it. Because if I go in and then come back, like there's going to be too much. The other homies were talking about like if I grabbed the backpack, they would have went and tossed it or whatever. But it's like a bunch of what ifs. Yeah, I'd already accepted it. There's no way I could run from it anymore.
I was going to say, but like, let's talk about like, because you went to what high school did you go to?
Well, I went to 3 high schools. So I went to Etowanda, and then I got recruited by A.B. Miller to play baseball. Got kicked out of A.B. Miller.
That's where you got caught with the weed.
Yeah, they wanted me to come back because I had one of the higher test scores in like the district. So like when you have higher test scores, you make extra money. But like they were being fucking dicks about it. They were like more like you know, I did all the shit that they wanted me to do. And then they're like, oh, we're still gonna have to drug test and like we can search you whenever. And then you have to do like a police program. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna just go to Colton High School. So that's where I graduated my senior year. And it was really cool because before like I met that girl that I ended up going to college with, I was like, it's very small town. Colton is a very small town. Everybody knows everybody. So me being like a new kid going in, like I was like a fucking alien. And bitches loved it. Like, bitches love it. They loved it. They looked at me and they're like, "Oh my god, he's Mexican." Like you know,
they're like white people.
Nah, they're Mexican too. They're like, he don't know Spanish. Like they looked at me like, "Oh my god, damn." Like, no,
but you had like the pick of the litter because you're the new guy.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like guys to guys, they can be friendly. But like, there's always like that standoffish shit, and I don't know why with me, like I'm a very chill guy, but there's been a lot of times that like people don't really know me and they are really standoffish with me or don't want to talk to me and they think I'm mean or whatever. And then when I talk, they're like, "Oh, okay, this guy's actually kind of fucking stupid," you know? Yeah. Facts. I was
like, yeah, no.
Yeah. I remember when I first met you.
Nah, I think a lot of that is people are like not really good with like introductions. Some people are to get nervous.
Yeah.
So even though you look like you're cool, like they're rather just like like, oh, I don't know. Some people are pussies like that.
Yeah,
I'm not like that. Like I like to talk to a lot of people and say what's up to everybody, but. You know, I think it's happened to me before. You get a little anxiety from like, oh shit, the new guys, I don't want to talk to him. What if he doesn't like me? You know, but some people are just, they take it overboard. Some people have real anxiety. Like I don't have real anxiety.
No, I do.
So like for people to tell me that you have anxiety, in my mind originally, especially like since recently, I stopped thinking this, but I had to be like, stop being a little bitch. Bro.
Yeah. That's honestly what it is, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, because like I do get like really bad anxiety, but that's like from like years of like fucking drug abuse and shit. But like I know people that just like have it, you know.
Yeah. So like, but like now recently, I was like, especially like the other day at work, one of my coworkers had like a fucking anxiety attack, and I was like, first I'm like, look at this bitch, she's acting, dog.
I know, she
just wants to go home, dog. Like, look at this bitch. Like, I would never do that. I would never go the extra mile to do that. And I'm like, oh wait, I think that's probably the first time I ever witnessed anxiety attack and shit.
It's pretty crazy.
But so you moved out of Northeast and then you moved into Hesperia, right?
Well, I went from Northeast LA and I moved to Fontana.
Oh, Fontana.
Went to Santa Barbara and then back to Fontana, and then last year we moved to Hesperia.
What's the difference between like Fontana and Hesperia?
Right now, so like I had seen when Fontana went from like there was no like not a lot of homes and shit like that to like it's fucking popping now.
Yeah, it is, right?
And with Hesperia, we're barely on that bridge where it's like it's starting to get more popping, but like I live in like ranch area, like fucking like we have an acre of land, and so like we're just like chilling. Like
you guys have like animals and shit?
Nah, just dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll eat them if you know.
Worst
comes to worst, you know.
Is it hotter as fuck over there?
No, bro, it's actually chiller than it is like in Fontana. You know?
Really? Is that like higher elevation?
Yeah, it's higher elevation. But the heat is drier, but like fuck, bro, Fontana is humid. And like I'm not gonna lie, I miss Fontana. You know, like that's where I did like my whole life, bro. This shit was like crazy shit. And Hesperia is cool. Like I just you know, I just don't know anybody out there. That's where I met my girl now, and like we met on Tinder, which is kind of funny. Our 1 year anniversary is next week, Friday.
Like the first time you guys swiped at each other or whatever.
Yeah, swiped. yeah. So like no, that first time that we actually like started dating and making it official. Yeah.
Damn, I don't know that many people that met on Tinder. I know a lot of people who use it to fuck, but not to like actually meet people.
Yeah, that's funny too. I mean, like I lived all my crazy shit before pre 21 years old. Okay. So like all the crazy, like my craziest stories were pre 21, 22. After that, like I wanted to like I needed to calm down. I stopped like smoking weed. I stopped drinking for a while. I stopped doing everything else. And then like for a long time, especially before I met my girl, I was celibate. I just didn't want to like.
Damn.
Yeah. I just did my best to not fuck.
Were you fucking that much that you had to be celibate?
No, I wasn't. I just didn't want to have any vices. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. I do have like a pretty I have a pretty high body count by like normal standards. I feel like.
What's your body count?
30.
Damn.
Well, close to 30. It's like around there. Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I caught them all between.
It's not 10, but you know.
Yeah.
It's like
It's not 60 or 50.
I'm closer. Damn, I don't even want to say it. I'm sound cocky as
Go ahead, go ahead.
Because I live in LA, dog. So it's just more. I'm closer to like 100.
Damn, close to 100.
Yeah, dog. But in LA, it's different. I think so. There's just so many people, so many bitches.
I guess so. Yeah. Like my thing is I had a lot of reoccurring, but like anyways,
you're like a relationship guy.
Nah, I don't fuck with relationships.
So you were just fucking people, but you wouldn't get in relationships with them.
Never.
Damn. Dog.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I'm not gonna lie. Because then you don't. Like even with my relationship now, me and my girl, we don't bug each other about shit. You know, she's full-time student and works. I've worked 60 hours a week usually, and I do music and shit like this. You know, so it's like we don't bother to like bother each other, but we make a point to like spend time with each other.
What do you do for work?
So right now, well, I'm going to school right now, trade school, to be inspector of architectural engineering, which is just an inspector for construction. Yeah.
Oh, construction.
Yeah.
Before it gets built, like as it goes through the stages.
Yeah. So I would work in soils, like welding, all that stuff. It's a bunch of boring shit.
That's dope.
But right now I'm working at Amazon because low-key they pay bread, bro. Like,
are you driving or are you inside?
I do. No, I don't drive. But I do drive a forklift. When I stay inside and I do all the easy jobs, I like train people. Okay. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like I stay loyal to my girl. I don't ever like, you know.
I'm about to say I heard it's a fuck fest.
I'll air that shit out right now. Like there are hella like people fucking at Amazon.
Yeah.
And I just stay away from that shit. I just have my homies and stuff like that. Of course, there's like girls here and there that try to hit me up, and like I'll be nice at first, but if they go like too far, then I'm like, nah, like, you know, I'm.
So it's even the girls being aggressive.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Especially like because it's.
Well, okay. Like my question is this: like, what is it about Amazon? Is it because everybody wants to get through and run the number up, like run their body count up, or everybody wants to just grab whoever's like the best available person and just claim them?
It's because it's kind of like high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically.
But are people like clicking up and like getting like being boyfriend and girlfriend, or are people just fucking each other?
No, there's people that link up and are boyfriend and girlfriend. Like I know one of my homies, bro. I'm always fucking send this shit to him. Like he's still real cool with me. He's had 2 Amazon relationships, and he's currently in one right now with a girl that's like 10 years older than him.
Fuck.
That fool's 23 and his girl is 33.
I can't talk shit because my girl's younger than me too.
No, it's all good though. It's the other way around, you know. It's just like, you know, but the girl, she's like 10 years older, and like we always get on the shit like, bro, how you like why an Amazon relationship, you know, whatever. But like there are people that are just running up the numbers just to run up the numbers, because it's kind of like high school where it's like, oh, like, hey, like this girl thinks you're cute, or like this and that, whatever she's trying to. And then since we're adults and we're whatever, they'll be like, oh, well, like let's kick it at lunch or like whatever, and then they'll start kicking it more and more, and then all of a sudden they stop talking to each other, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, they fucked, and then they'll start you'll start hearing it like all over the place. So it's like it's that kind of dynamic. And so like I'm aware of it, and I like try to keep like away from it, because I also do training. Like I'm a trainer for like people, and so sometimes I do have to work with girls, and like especially like fat bitches, low key, they always like try to shoot their shot. I'm not gonna lie, bro. And I'm like you know what I mean?
That happens to me too. Like fat girls love me, dog. Fat girls want me, but like the thing is, as a fat boy, I'm not into fat girls. You know,
that's tough.
I think there is some people that are some big boys that are into big girls.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm just not one of them, dog.
But there's like I'm not gonna lie, there's a difference. I was talking about this with Gazelle yesterday. Is that there's a difference between like fat girls and like chubby girls and like linebackers, you know what I mean? Like you got bitches that look like their dad is Brian Urlacher, you know, like you can tell by the neck. It's just
big
different.
Ass, just thick.
Yeah, bro, that bitch will pick me up, bro. Like I just like, so like there's a certain line of jobs. I do like chubby girls, or like girls that are a little thicker, you know. Like,
some girls look cute chubby.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But like for that whole thing, I like stay the fuck away. Even my girl like kind of like joke around with me. She was like, oh, you're training bitches today. I already know. And I'm like, yeah, but they're like ugly. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not even, you know. But so like a lot of those shits I shoot down, and I just don't like ever talk to them and stuff like that. And it's like actually kind of funny how like me and my girl met. So like I said, like it was like on Tinder. And like for the longest time, I didn't want to get Tinder for that reason. That there was a bunch of like, you know, linebackers, like they're gonna be swiping up on me. And unfortunately, the only line, you know. And so like I was on Tinder, and like, or before I got Tinder, my home was like, bro, like download Tinder, bro. Like you need to download Tinder, like this and that. And I was like, nah, bro, like that shit's whack, like played out. Like I don't want to do that shit. There's a bunch of linebackers, this and that, and they're all ugly bitches. And he's like, nah, bro, like I swear on my life, I just got head by some fine ass bitch in a Wendy's. And I was like, all right, fuck it. You know, like, you know, I was like, fuck it. And I like the thing, and I learned a couple things, and like, I learned that like, even if you match with like some girl that's ugly, you want to like have them take you to their fine friends.
Oh,
so like I remember there was like this ugly ass bitch that matched with me, and right away she's like, "Hey, do you want to come to a party with me and my friends like this and that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, I'm there." And I pull up, and every girl like that was her friend was even fucking uglier.
Oh,
and I
my
like
God.
and like the worst part about it is like they would all tell about their sexual like stories. Like the ugliest, like biggest bitch there, she's like, "Oh yeah, I just sucked some guy's dick at a Wendy's," like this. And I was like, God, I had to air my boy out real quick. Like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm out of here.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but and then I ended up matching with her, and like this right here, this line always worked for me, and I used it a lot to just so I could get. It was icebreaker.
Okay, let me see.
And so it was always like, so you trying to steal like all my favorite shirts or my sweaters, like whatever the weather was, you know? So I told my girls that before she was my girl, I was like, so you trying to steal my favorite t-shirts? And she's like, and your sweaters, you know, a little sassiness, whatever. And I was like, all right, just make sure you treat them as good as I'm about to treat you right now. And she's like, oh, that was slick, whatever. I was like, let me get your Insta or your number. Like that's usually the line next. And like, and she was like, oh, like for that one, like you get both, you know? So like I already knew, and the thing is, she was on like I don't want to like tell her shit too much, but like she was on her city girl shit. Like she was low-key, she was one of those finessers. Like she would finesse men like out of money, you know.
Okay.
And like, and I was on my shit too. I was like, I mean, I wasn't fucking around at the time, but I was dating a lot, and like you know, like, but like when we got to like actually got together, I told her like I was like, yeah, like it's kind of crazy because me and her never would have thought, bro, never.
This is Hesperia or Fontana?
Hesperia, yeah.
Damn.
It was like almost like it was like 4 months after I moved out there, and she like she thought I was from Fontana, and because I hadn't updated my profile because you know I was dodging the linebackers, and I updated it after our first date, and she was like, oh like you live in Hesperia? I was like, yeah, and then we ended up finding out we live like 10 minutes from each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long you been with her?
It'd be a year next week.
Damn, year.
Yeah. Crazy shit, huh? I know, and I'm loyal too. Well, I've always been loyal. But like you know,
And I'm loyal now.
yeah,
She's lucky.
I'm loyal now. No,
She's lucky, dog.
I know.
I used to fuck around.
No, Loki. She told me about all like the old dudes she used to like mess with, and I was like, bro, why you always like mess with bums? Like saying like they're shit men, like bums, like this and that. And she looks at me like all crazy, like she's like broke, and I was like, no, like bums, like why are they shit men? She's like, oh, I thought you said they were broke. Like, oh yeah, they're shitty people, but they weren't broke. Like, bro, you're fucking stupid sometimes.
That's crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Fucking well, I mean, do you plan on staying in Hesperia for like forever? Like,
No, definitely not. Nah.
what is your plan?
So I do want to travel, like more or less start to go on tour, and with like what I do for work, like I could work anywhere, you know. And then
Because Amazon, you could just work anywhere.
oh,
your new job.
yeah, what I want to do. So like, I mean, even Amazon, I can go anywhere, but I do want to travel, and I want to like buy land, places, and stuff like that, you know, make generational money. Bunch of boring shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's the Don part of my life that I don't like talking about. Like,
What's your rap name? What's your full rap name?
oh, my full rap name is Davey the Don. The Don is like one word, and the way I got that was I was on some crazy shit like growing up, and like we can get more into it a little later, but like basically the gist of it is like I would sell weed and like other shit from like the time I was like 14 and up, and I stopped selling like other shit like when I was like 21 or so, or like no, I want to say like maybe like 19, 20, because like the weed money was already making me a good amount of money, so I was just stuck to that, and then I stopped selling like weed like maybe a year ago.
Okay, you just stopped.
Yeah, well, it was all legal, you know. I had like my delivery licensing and all that stuff. I did it all like legal shit, you know. But like all the shit that I did illegally, all my homies at the time, they're like, bro, you're really on some like crazy like Don shit, you know.
These two motherfuckers told me they're gonna fuck on their fucking podcast, and they didn't.
Yeah, I want a refund.
I want a refund.
I paid $2.
I want my $1 back. Yeah. So Davey the Don, dog. Tell me more about your rap. You know, your rap history.
Yeah. So originally, I really didn't want to like get into like rap, and then like the more I got into it, I like being more known as an artist than a rapper, because I do sing and all that shit too. I do have one singing song, which is not that good.
Oh, you can sing too?
Yeah, a little bit. But I started off like how anybody fucking starts off, just like rapping when you're getting faded with your with your friends and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then like I remember I would just like freestyle and like whatever, and my homies would like be like, "Oh, bro, like you're actually pretty good. Like you should just record it." And like I remember the first time I recorded it was fucking absolutely ass because I was one of those guys like, bro, and like I fucking hate it now like working at studios and like there's always that one guy's like, oh, I'm just gonna freestyle it, you know, and then he like goes off for like 4 to 8 bars and then like the rest is bullshit. He's like, no, I think that's fire, bro. That shit's fire, like, you know. But like that was how I was, you know.
Yeah.
And then I started like meeting other people and they're like, oh, like giving me tips and tricks on like how to like nail it down a little bit. And then I met my homie Rudy G, like, and he's the one that I usually work with like the most, especially on most of my songs. He's like probably the most featured on all my music. And he was already in the game, like really like spitting and stuff like that. And he kind of made a turn to more like Hispanic, like Mexican music, and he's blowing up about like on it now. So, but he kind of like brought me in, and he had me under his entertainment label, the Royal Club Entertainment, and like kind of taught me the ways of like how to do stuff. Like, and I knew how to do music as it is, because like all my family are musicians. Like my dad's a DJ, my mom was in band, but she also DJs as well. Okay. My little brother knows how to play like hella instruments and shit like that. So like we were already like a musically inclined family, and I was over here just fucking hitting baseballs as far as I can, you know. And so like after I stopped playing baseball, I just got into kind of music, and just released a track, like a project, which is my mental breakdown, and I do all my like digital work, so all of my cover arts and stuff like that you see, like I did all that, you know. If I didn't do like a photo shoot, like I did all like of the pictures and the editing to look how it is. And so I just dropped it to kind of like see what it was, you know, like if I could really do something. And it kind of blew up pretty big for like me being like nobody, you know, like I think my first music video is like over 1,000. All those on that first project are at least over 1,000 streams each. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, well, fuck it. Like I'm going to kind of keep going with it. And then I started doing shows where like I got enough attention where like they're like, hey, like, I mean, they're just trying to fill up their spots, but like, hey, you know, like, we have like financial incentives. So if you bring over 10 people, you get a percentage of the ticket sales and whatever. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I'm going to try, you know? And like, I've been blessed. Like, I have a very, very like loyal, like down, like real down with it, like fan base. Like, they really like fuck with me, like heavy. So when I did like my first show, like they pulled up in like droves. It was like, I think my first show I did like maybe like 50 people. Damn. In like a small like place, and it only fit 100, so half of them were for me. Nice. And so the girl that ran the whole thing, she's like, oh, well, you're closing out, you know. And I was like, fuck it, like I'm not really tripping, you know. Mm-hmm. And it kind of like incited people to stay. And like again, like people look at me, they're like, oh, he's probably gonna like be kind of whack, bro. Like especially people that knew me, they thought I was gonna be whack. And then when I do like my shit or like my songs, especially on performing, bro, like I know how to like control a crowd and have a presence on stage. And so when I performed, bro, like it was like the most crazy like euphoric feeling. Like you're just kind of like going at it. And I had friends on top like performing with me, no homo. And we got a video of like basically the whole crowd like chanting my name, and like it was just like nothing like you ever felt.
Is that your first like live performance?
Yeah, that was my first live performance. And then I started looking at the video. I was like, God damn, I'm fat, bro. Yeah. And so like
that's me every podcast.
I feel like I'm just gonna be when I go back and look at this. But yeah, and so after that, like I started really deep diving into it. Like my main thing is like I was really big into business and networking. So I started networking with like as much people as I possibly can with the aspect of music now instead of like the aspect of weed. And so like it kind of made me like grow and like meet a lot more people. And then like there was people that like I met, but I didn't grow into anything. Mm-hmm. And I started doing stuff on my own. Like I started throwing my own shows, and like it was pretty cool because like I made like a piece of shit low key, but like I didn't like offer any incentives other than like you guys get to perform for free. I'm not gonna charge you to fucking perform, right? And like I guarantee it's gonna be sold out. That's it, you know. But I wasn't gonna pay him, you know. But I got a percentage of like all the ticket and the drink sales and stuff like that. So like whenever I got like performed, I got paid. So like I really enjoyed that, but I also enjoyed performing. There was like kind of the stint of like 9 months where I was just like performing like quite often, and then I started getting in my head. I'm like, you know, I'm diluting myself. Like I am a fucking, even though I like the money, I'm gonna back away from it. I don't want to dilute myself. You know, I'm not like fucking, I don't like, even if I had like 15K like fans, like I don't want to like dilute myself.
Right.
And so after that, I kind of like went on.
What year was this? What year was this? My bad.
This year was I want to say 21.
Okay.
21 going into 22, and then 22 I focused on really doing like artistic shit because I had songs that dropped that were doing real good numbers, but they're all like bullshit talking shit songs. And I mean, I'll do that music because it'll make me money and it's cool to fucking perform, but I don't like making that shit. I like producing like real, like good, like music, like feel good music, and like even just deep thinking, like ideology music, or like even when you guys look at like the music videos that I do, they come with like a meaning behind it, you know? And so I dropped a project called The Dawn Part 1, and I did that whole photo shoot and the editing by myself with like the little hands and shit like that. Like I did that whole shit by myself. And that one is more of like focusing on like my like melodic kind of like side, where it's like more of like calm music, and like it did pretty good. It did good numbers. I did drop my like a love song to it too that did good. And then I have this song that I fucking like. I love this song. This shit's like my baby. And I feel fucked up for like putting it on the project, but I needed it on the project to drop. And I think in hindsight, I should have just done a single. It's called Feeling. And so what I'm doing now is I'm dropping a music video. I want to see on the 11th, on August 11th. Yeah. So me and Gazelle shot that yesterday at my homegirl Kimmy's shop right here in LA. So I'll drop all that information as well. But that was like a real turn for me again. What kind of sparked this shit, man, is that like I'm the last boy in my family generation that carries like my maiden last name, my mom's last name. Okay. Yeah. So like, and again, it kind of hits a little more now because like my uncle just passed away this week.
Oh, okay.
And he was like,
you posted on he was a Raider fan.
Yeah, big Raider fan. Big Raider
Raiders,
fan.
Baby.
Yeah, for real. And for his funeral, we're all gonna wear Raider jerseys and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he supported the shit out of me, bro. Like really, like he was there at almost all my shows. Like even like when I was doing shit with weed, he supported me just because he wanted to see me like do good. You know what I mean? And like so like before him, like my grandfather passed away too, and he was one of the last ones of the boys that can pass down our name. My Theo kind of like struck out. He had 3 girls, you know.
Oh shit.
3 kids, 3 girls, you know. And so like for me, it's like kind of like I've felt like there is this legacy that was left on me. Like, you know, I'm now, it kind of, the Dawn legacy kind of sets in. It really, like, I'm now the head at the table now. And like, even though I was doing crazy shit, I now had to be more like meticulous about what I do. And like, I feel like music allows me to do that. So like, not only do it like, I mean like, yeah, I'm fucking funny. I say stupid shit all the time, whatever. But like, there's stuff that I do behind the scenes that helps support all that stuff. So like, last year, I did my first inaugural like sock drive, and it did pretty shit. I'm not gonna cap. Like, it maybe gained like $60-$70 for like socks to give back to the community. And then I was like, well, what could I do to change that? So the next thing I did is I dropped sweaters, which my homie that does this shit right here, Love Yours Clothing, he helped me. He did all the sweaters for me. He did all the like the embroidery work. I did the design and everything. And then I dropped the sweaters, and all the profits that I made from the sweaters, I threw directly into that sock drive. And so like now I raised up like $560 something. So that's like, you know, like 500 pairs of socks that I'm gonna give out to like the homeless people next month. So it's like shit like that where it's like, we're like, of course I won't, like my personality is like, I don't take shit serious. I'm serious like fucking like 5 to 10% of the time. And I fuck around the whole time because like, bro, life's too short to be like so like fucking stick up your ass all the time. So like music kind of helps me drive that. And like I started doing like stand-up comedy as well. And I like, that's more of like my personality where I like just talk a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Like not like roasting anybody, but like funny shit like that. Like that Wendy's line like I was telling you about. That's a true ass story too. Like, you know what I mean? I lived a crazy life. So like I have like a lot of crazy true stories. Yeah. But, like certain ways you got to set them up to be like, oh, that shit's fucking hilarious, bro. Like, you know?
Yeah, no, you're fucking funny, dog. I see. And then I saw you perform at the live show. Thank you for coming down and performing, dog.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
That was dope to see you on stage with Dreams. Shout out to Dreams.
Yeah.
But yeah, dog, I've seen you perform. Even like when you're rapping and shit, like you rap with a smile on, you know, like not many rappers rap. Usually they're all super serious and like, yeah, you know, low brow shit.
Yeah. Sunglasses.
You know?
Shooting up at the crowd.
You were just rapping and shit and like smiling and just like having like, you had this look on the face like, Like you weren't really like stressed out about nothing, you know, like you were just
yeah.
like easy go looking kind of guy, you know. And then your raps were funny. People knew like your POP on the playlist line.
Yeah, that goes hard. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know, I thought that shit was dope. And then you were telling me about your stand up, and then off camera you told me your set, and like, damn, this was fucking good, dog.
Yeah, pretty.
Have you? Do you feel like you've always been good at everything you try? Like, one of those guys.
I'm not gonna stroke my ego, but I like everything I do. I try my best.
Okay.
And I believe that people can be good at what they can, like whatever they can do. Like there's shit that I know that I fucking like I'm pretty terrible at, you know. And I don't like, you know, like I won't like do that shit. You know what I mean? But like what I feel like I'm good at, or I feel like I can pick up, I'll like get up and do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a jack of all trades, and that's like where I'm kind of like starting to narrow down. Like, well, I'm really good at music, and I'm really good at being funny, and like I enjoy being in front of a camera. So like I'm now narrowing it down to being like, okay, well, personality, a media personality, social media, whatever. Like, I feel like if I start narrowing all the shit that I could do down to that, like it's crazy because like all the stuff that I did beforehand, like they make great stories, they make good for podcasting, they make good for like even jokes, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So it really just depends on how you want to set it up. So I did think I was like, I've always felt since I was younger that I was destined to do something. Like it was, that shit never left my side. Like my pops is in my life, like but like he's not he was not my biological father. So like my pops left me at a real, like before I was born type shit. But my pops has been around since I was born. So that's like my dad. But like growing up, like there was like that weird tension because he always felt like, oh, I wasn't, like I would throw in his face that like technically I'm not your kid, but like I was never disrespectful. Like that's my dad no matter what. But like it kind of made that weirdness, and like my mom would always like kind of like make it a point to be like, hey, you know, like I had you, even though if it was with that random, I had you because I needed you, and now that you're here, I knew you were like meant to do something. And so since at a young age, like even whatever I did, I always did like my best at. Even being a piece of shit, I was the best piece of shit that there was. You know what I mean?
The best piece of shit,
bro. Like I'll never take that title away.
That one piece of shit that you look at before you flush, like, damn, you're a beautiful dog, but you know you got to go with the rest of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like to do like I like doing side adventures. I like doing shit. Like I like living life. You know?
Side ventures.
Yeah, side adventures. But this. Like podcasting, I never would have thought of. I never. I didn't even like podcasts before my homie put me on. My homie League, shout out League, and he put me on to PLP. Shout out PLP.
Okay.
And
so you didn't know the PLP guys for a long time.
I knew them by association. You know what I mean? I knew they were my homies of my homie, and I would see them at parties and stuff like that. But I didn't know that they did what they did.
You knew about them, or the association was like in high school or college or after?
I knew some of them in high school, and then
who'd you know in high school?
I knew Dreams in high school. I knew, well, I didn't like talk to him, but I knew of him. I knew of Gazelle in high school.
These are all the same age?
No, they're older.
Right.
Yeah, they're like 2 years older. And then I didn't really know Lalo or Johnny like that. But it's funny because like my best friend grew up on the same block as them, and I was always there. So I would see him around, but I never put two and two together. I was also a fucking annoying ass kid, and I was a piece of shit. So I mean, I would understand why they wouldn't want to come and talk to me. No, but I'm not. Lalo kind of gave me my first start on like podcasting.
Okay.
And so like he just had me on blindly, and like it just so happened that like with my homie putting me on. Like I real life became a fan. I was like, yo, these guys are like, it's just like kicking it with the homies.
Facts.
And then when I got there, like they were kind of like wanting to do like interview type, you know. And I was like, bro, like I'm just be like, what inspires you? And I'm like, bitches. And I was just like, you know, yeah. So like, I was just being myself, you know. And they we just clicked it. And then like I was telling you off camera, like that gave me spots for doing stand up comedy. And I was like, I would never thought I'm funny, like, but in like a social setting. I'm not funny where I'm just standing there by myself saying shit.
Right.
And then like pretty like decent size where like shows were telling me to come on, and I was like, nah. And then David Josso gave me my first star, even though I lied to him. I straight up lied to him because he was like, I asked him, I was like, hey, like, you know, I've done like comedy shows before, like I would love to be on one of yours. He's like, oh, like, really? Like, you do stand-up comedy? I was like, yeah, I do, you know, whatever. It's like, oh, wow, other people have been doing it for longer. I could have you open up. And I was like, fucking perfect, bro. 5 minutes is all I need. And so he gave me my first start. It did good. And then I did other podcasts with different people, but, like, honestly, like, it didn't click as much. Like me and you clicked. I feel like when we met over there, like, at your show, like, we clicked. I know you had shit going on, but, like, you took time to, like, talk to me. And like, you know, like we were just shooting the shit there, you know, I was just making you laugh and this shit was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it definitely, like, you left like an everlasting impression on me. But no, you were super chill. Like, yeah, good vibes, you know, and like, especially like I was super stressed out that day, right? Trying to like figure out the whole thing with the AC and then people coming in and out. Like, I don't want people to leave. But like every time I was talking to you, like I don't know, like once every hour I'll talk to you for like 5 minutes, and you'd be like, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember you. One of the things you told me was that like, oh, are you nervous? And I was like, nah, bro. I was like, I do this shit, like you're like real serious, like, and you're like, what? I was like, nah, I'm fuck with you, bro. It's not like I'm like, I don't even have a set, bro. I'm just here to help, you know, like, you know. I was like, I'm here to help out my boy, you know. That shit was funny.
I was looking for solidarity because I was super nervous. Like, you're nervous too, huh? And you're like, no, I'm not fucking nervous. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. It's just
I said it all serious too,
it's
bro.
just me.
I said that shit so serious, like, nah, I do this shit. Like, this is so funny.
Yeah, no, dude, that show was tight, dog. People are already hitting, like, other venues are already hitting me up, like, oh, come do your show over here. I already got a few offers because I wanted to do a Halloween show.
Okay.
I'm not sure when Halloween is, but like the weekend after Halloween, I wanted to do like a Halloween type show, which will be dope. Everyone comes dressed up, you know. But I don't know. I just feel loyal to Melvin and that Studio M, because you know that fool's a cool ass fool. He let us stay till 3 a.m. to drink.
For sure. And the thing is, like of course I was there to like support dreams and everything, but like also like business in mind, you know. Like I'd been following what Ismo was doing and seeing what Melvin was doing, and even like all the other like the whole cast, and like I became a fan too. And I was like, you know, like, dude, these are people that like I need to meet, and they need to know like who I am, you know. So like I set shit up too, like with every time I see Melvin, I'm like, god damn, you're fucking handsome, and he's just like, all right, bro, like he's walking. That's how he talks, right? He's like walking by, like, all right, like you can tell he's kind of annoyed. I was like, bro, like I was like, you a goddamn handsome Wolverine, bro. You just fucking handsome. Like, he does look like Wolverine. He does like Wolverine, and then like every time he'd walk by, I'd be talking to him like, hey, bro, I just seen him on the Deadpool, like on the Deadpool trailer, you know. And then we finally got to talk outside. And like I was telling him how I do stand up, and I told him that Wendy's story, and he thought it was fucking funny. And then I was like, oh yeah, like, and then my little brother kind of like plugged me. He's like, oh yeah, you could also find him on Feet Finder, and like instead of selling him on Instagram, he's like yeah. And I was like, yeah, you can find me on Gravel at Gravel Grippers 247. And my brother's like, yeah, you can find me at Eagle Talents 339. And I was like, yeah, you can find Melvin at Wolverine Claws 447. You know, like fucking. And he thought that shit was funny. I was like, yeah, bro, like I need to get plugged in. So like that was one of the ones where I like, all right, I needed to like have that connection.
They have a show tonight.
Yeah, I saw. I was thinking about going.
Me too. I was thinking about going too, but I got shit to do in the morning, dog. And I already had an event full. I'm honestly, dog, my legs still hurt from yesterday. Got up to go get your water. I was like, oh,
you're like, oh shit, you got to stretch out around the corner before you know.
Yeah, I'm not in the proper like physical or like mental mood to go right now. But I think it was Alfred Robles and Martini. And I forget who else is performing, but dope. Yeah, man. Shout out to fucking Melvin, the Isimo boys, the POP boys. Like, I really fuck with that whole movement. Like, I was drunk as fuck, and I posted I took a picture with the Shade of Brown boys were there too, right?
Okay, yeah.
Which is another Latino Mexican podcast or whatever. I always say Mexican, but I always mean Latino. But I gotta stop saying Mexican because not everyone's. Are you Mexican?
Yeah, Mexican as fuck.
Yeah, see, but not always everyone's Mexican. But like, I posted something on my story, and I said yesterday we just formed the Brown Militia podcasters, which is like super corny to say, dog. But in my heart, I really fuck with that vision, you know, like. And it's crazy how like POP, right? I think out of all of us, POP gets the most views, so they're like the highest on the totem pole, right?
Yeah,
they get like. I'm a numbers guy, so they get like 2,000 on average per episode, and then it's fucking Isimo. They get like about 1,000, you know, and then it's everybody else. Like me, on average, I'll get like if I get 100 views on episode on YouTube, I'm solid. I'm like, all right, we did it. You know, this one I just did last week is going crazy. It has like 3,000.
Oh damn!
And it has like 2,000 likes on Instagram. That's because Bozo is a fucking very influential Mexican rapper, and he's not afraid to talk his shit. So people like that are always gonna get hella views, right? So that one's going crazy. Last time I did an episode with him, he did 18,000 views on, which is my biggest episode. And then I had Ken Flores. Ken Flores, I think, is close to 10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So those are already big names, you know. But if I get close to 100, dog, like that's big for me, right? That's like, all right, that's like my quota, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to hit at least 100 views in a week. But like having us all form, like kind of come cool, and then all of us meet up, work with each other, break bread, and then like we all fuck with each other, dog. Like, damn, dog. Honestly, it's like I'm super excited for what that has for us, you know, like.
Yeah, and that's crazy seeing it from the outside because like like I said, I was a fan of PLP before they had me come on. But like after that, like bro, like the thing is like they're very, very fucking genuine. Like I've kicked it with all of them like solo now. You know, like I've now like hung out with them, and that was like kind of like the weird navigation that I kind of had to do because like even though I am doing something too, like they're on a different level. They're like on a very different level than I am, and I don't think they know it yet. And so like it was weird for me to navigate because I don't want to make them seem like I'm dick riding.
Right.
Because like I generally do like enjoy being around them and being homies with them. So I made it like a point to like be there when there's no cameras, talk to them like behind like closed doors. You know what I mean? And like we've all kind of like made a like built a friendship behind that. You know what I mean? Like oh like you know like they've kind of like welcomed me as well. You know, and like I know like their fans and stuff like that always like are like, oh, like when's Davey coming on, this and that, whatever. And like, dude, they have fucking like goddamn HBO guests coming on, you know what I mean? Like it's just like crazy shit.
Guests, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, well, like I'm not gonna like jump in and this and that because like they like you know like they have their shit going, you know what I mean? So
Right.
like I'm cool with being like friends with them and then seeing them grow. As long as I like see that shit, that's all that matters to me. And I'm gonna grow and do my shit as well, you know what I mean? So like it's cool that like everyone's kind of coming together and making like that fucking like big brown army, bro. The militia. The goddamn militia.
The Brown Militia podcast.
Oh my god, bro. That should be crazy, bro.
No, but it'll be dope, dog. It'll be dope for all of us to like, you know, every time someone fucking blows up, it just reaches down, pulls everybody back up, and then whoever blows up from this side pulls there. You know, it'll be something dope to have because I think in the end, all of us did it or have a similar reason why, because like there's no other Mexican podcast or there's no real big Mexican channel. There's no MTV or HBO. That's just like people like for us, by us, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's a lot of white people, a lot of Jewish people, there's a lot of black people or whatever, but there's not like a real Mexican people or Latino people in English, because obviously we got Univision and Galavision and all the other Spanish channels, you know, but in English, you know, for us pochos, us Mexican Americans and shit.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, when people start blowing up, like the people that already solidified themselves as like big time, they start shitting on like the smaller guy, which is like crazy, bro.
Which is
like,
what typically happens, right?
Yeah, which is like crazy. So like I think we're building more of like a more of a welcoming like experience, you know what I mean? Like we all play our own part, you know what I mean? Like to be something more. But like I think it's kind of like it's a little intimidating sometimes having to like go up to par with like I mean even with what you're doing, bro, you know? Like cuz like I always see it as like I'm still me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm as me as myself as when I fucking knew nobody until now. Like, I don't ever change for that shit, and that shit doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And so, like, even coming up to here, I'm like, oh, well, fuck, bro. Like, I got the lights, cameras, and everything, bro. Like, it's a little, like it makes me, like, nervous and shit, you know? So it's, like, it's crazy seeing that shit go off, and, like, to be a part of it is, like, wild, you know what I mean? So I know for sure in the future, like, we're all going to do something crazy.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's, like, keep having people. For me, is like what got me here is like basically I've been doing YouTube for since 2016, but it's been super on and off, and my channel has changed from like music to this to that, back and forth, right? But what got me to this point right here recently, to like my recent like really kind of like I can actually say like the needles moving forward is like a year and a half of consistently posting a clip every day, and then posting. Yeah. I used to post 3 clips a day.
Goddamn.
But I went to 1 because I was like, I'm doing too much.
I'll do like 3 a week, bro.
So right now I'm doing like 1 a day, and then 1 podcast a week. And sometimes, and then I had a sports show, and I had a girl show. So I was doing 3 podcasts a week, and then a clip every day. So, but in a year and a half, I've been doing consistently at least 1 podcast, at least 1 clip, and it's gotten me here. So, like, to me, it's like just not stopping, dog. Just being super consistent.
Consistency is fucking key, bro.
Yeah, but it's hard as fuck, dog. And like, luckily, I have a girl that understands like that. Hey, I'm editing. Like, you want to come and kick it? Like, you want to come lay down here and watch TV while I edit next to me? Like, you want? That's us hanging out, and she's cool with that. My son, hey, let's go fucking play golf. Let's go to the park. Like, hey, I'm editing, and then he just goes in the room, plays PlayStation or whatever. And I try to involve him because I made him a YouTube channel. Yeah, and he's a YouTuber now, you know. So like, luckily, like, you know, the people that are like my super, like, you know, small family is like there's this, they support my hustle or whatever, my grind.
Nah, that's a good
grinding,
thing,
bro.
Literally grinding, bro. Nah, that's a good thing, bro. Cause like when I'm home, bro, like there's a lot of shit. Like I say, I work 60 hours a week. I do all this shit as well. So when I'm home, bro, I don't even want to shut the fuck up, and you know. And so, but like my girl's real good about like being there for me too, like when I need it, you know. Cause there's sometimes like, bro, like as a man, bro, you can't always hold the weight of the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Right.
It gets tough, bro, and you always need someone like there to help. And that's what's like something like I've been kind of like expressing more and more lately is that like I enjoy doing all this shit, but like I can only do so much by myself. So like, and it's hard to find people that are like a solid team. Like my boy Rudy, he's like part of that team, but he's on his own wave, you know.
Right.
He's found a way to do it like on his own because he found like, you know, the Spanish speaking route, and it's blowing him up and stuff like that. And I don't speak Spanish. I'm not gonna pretend like I do either, you know. So like now that I kind of see it, like I'm pushing forward, and it's like I said, it's crazy to think that like I'm even on like the same realm as like you guys, you know, doing whatever you guys are doing. Like
well, you're definitely part of like the Brown Militia.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep calling him the Brown Militia.
Brown Militia. I'm a fucking general.
I'm the Brown Militia podcast universe, dog. You know you're part of it now, which is like, you know, it's dope, and then you have good vibes, so I don't mind you, you know, joining the militia.
Oh my god, bro! Just like if people have made it this far in the episode, wait until like the third quarter. There's gonna be like I'm gonna tell some crazy stories. I got some in the chamber already.
Guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the last 30-40 minutes of this podcast. I do want to give another shout out to the Michi Man, which is this episode's sponsor. You can find them on Instagram at big_e_the Michi Man. Serving some of the best micheladas. They're actually at 99 bottles. They're at different strip clubs, like really big restaurants.
Different strip clubs?
Yeah, dude.
Goddamn.
That's how you know it's good, dog.
Yeah, you gotta find some bitches.
Yeah, so they're serving up the expensive micheladas. I actually he sent me a bottle last week, and I gotta taste it. I'm not the biggest michelada drinker, but my dad is, and he's an old Mexican man, so you know if he likes it,
yeah, you know it's
just
good,
fire,
bro.
dog. My mom liked it. I actually gave Bozo a bottle, the last bottle I had.
Oh, damn.
But make sure you follow the Michi Man.
Oh, easy.
On Instagram at big_e the Michi Man. Some of the fire ass micheladas.
Yeah, I'm about to go get one after this pod.
Yeah. I'll send you to the strip club where they're at.
No, never mind. I'll just be outside, bro.
I'll wait for you outside. I'll take you, but I'll wait for you outside.
All right, thank you. If my girl's watching this, I'm outside.
Shout out to your girl, dog. So, do you ever have any like odd jobs, any like crazy jobs?
Yeah, I actually had a lot, but I think like the most memorable and like the craziest shit that would happen. I worked at a hotel as they call it a front desk concierge. Concierge.
Oh,
but I was just a front desk bitch. So if anyone need anything, I'd get them. But I definitely made like hella money off of that shit because in the hotel industry, there's a lot of fucking cheating. It's like having like a Mexican dad, you know?
Oh, you're saying like your guest?
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating. A lot of guests just fucking cheat. It's just, and like you don't know it until like after the fact, but like you can kind of see sometimes where these guys are a little like ugly and they got some fine ass women. You know, the money had something to play with that.
Okay.
And so a lot of these times, these people, especially who like have a hella money, they got whole ass families, and the way hotels are set up, you have to like pay with card.
Why do they do that?
Just to make sure you're not doing fraud, and
like just you don't fuck up the room or something.
And also, if you fuck up the room, they could charge your card instead of, you know.
Okay.
So I remember I see like this shit a lot, and I was like, well, fuck it. Like I remember there was one night there was this like a gang of them just kept coming in like, hey, like can I get a room, and like, you know, like don't tell anybody, you know. I was like, nah, like I can't do that, like this and that, whatever. And he's like, then going, guys, like the rooms are going at like $300 a night. It was a high-end hotel.
Damn.
And so he's like what about for $600? And I was like, no, I can't do that, like this and that, whatever. He's like, all right, $900. And I was like, maybe there's something I could do. And so like all I would do is like say that the rooms are out of order.
Okay.
And then I would tell him like, all right, you could go in, but you have to leave at like earlier and don't check out. Because then, you know, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, why is someone in that room? So like for a lot of the time, like I would like take bribes for people that were cheating.
Damn,
and like yeah, it made a lot of money, bro. Like I could make up to like, you know, like almost $1,000 a night working, because I worked overnight shifts. And also I got good discounts on hotels. But and then that shit kind of caught up to me in like a weird way. Caught up to me.
Okay.
Is because this girl was like straight up cheating on her man. I had no idea. She should have went through me, and I would have made that shit easier. She would have never gotten caught. But anyways, she was on like this like fake honeymoon with this guy or whatever, and the husband calls me like a couple days later after she had been. She's like, hey, has this person been there? And I remember seeing like her, like who she was, and I was like, no, like we're not allowed to give out information, but I'm telling you, like I haven't seen her, like this and that. And he's like, oh, okay, well, all right, thank you. So he hangs up, and then I get a different call, and it's from the number that was on file, and it sounded like another guy's voice, a different guy's voice. And he was like, hey, I was just there with my girlfriend, and I think, her husband's calling, like kind of being serious. And I was like, I don't see anything like weird. So I was like, oh yeah, like with the number being on file and everything, I knew that there was, and I was like, yeah, he tried calling, but like you guys, like we're not allowed to give out information, stuff like that. And I was like, but for tips, you can go, like my code word was incognito. So I was like, next time you come, just ask for incognito, and we can't like share any information or anything like that. Not even like your name or if you have been there. Damn. And he's like, all right, for sure, but thank you, whatever. And like hangs up. And for me, that was like the end of it, And I come back to work the next day, and my manager's like, hey, Davey, can you come into my office real quick? And I was like, yeah, for sure, no problem. And she's like, hey, did you tell anybody about incognito mode? And I was like, no, like I don't remember. And like, some shit. And she's like, oh, well, basically this girl got caught cheating, and her husband called and said that the front desk said that you guys do incognito mode and not allowed to share information and this and that. And I was like, oh, like I don't remember that. I remember the husband calling, whatever. And they ended up getting me fucking fired for that. She's like, oh, well, either way, we can't give out information at all. So, I'm sorry, but this is your final termination or whatever. It's good to see you. I mean, they made the money while it lasts, which was cool.
How long were you doing that for?
Like probably like 8 months.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so it was pretty decent money, but like that was also during like my dirtbag area. Like I was doing some dirtbag piece of shit stuff, bro. Like, bro. So like I remember there was this one girl that like I was like we were kind of cool, like but we weren't like friends. But I knew like she had a thing for me, and I was like kind of feeling her. I just like there was nothing real special about her, but like for some reason I just wanted to hook up with her. And so I remember we like met up and we did like the whole like hookup thing and everything, and we were kind of fucked up. We were like drinking and like and I drop her off, and I'm like, whenever someone leaves, I start looking around to make sure they didn't leave their phone or anything. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of fucked up, so I look and I see like her phone and wallet were like right by the car like chair, the passenger seat, and like I like look at the rear view mirror, and she's like checking her pockets, and she turns around, and I'm like, I just drive away, and I was like, what? Like, because I know she used to do like some hood rat shit. I know she had money, like that. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home, and so she like doesn't think anything of it. And then she finds a way to get on Snapchat. And she texts, she's like, hey Davey, I think I left my phone and my wallet in your car. And I was like, oh really? Like, let me look for it. And like I like obviously looked through her wallet, and like she got like fucking like $300 like in there. And so I'm like, well, I'm taking this, you know what I mean? So I grabbed the money, and I texted back. I was like, yeah, your phone's in here, but not your wallet. You sure you didn't take it with you? And she's like, no, like, but can you drop off my phone real quick, and we can look for the wallet? And like my dumb ass, I fucking just like I knew already, so like I took the money, and like I'm not gonna like be like, oh, here's your wallet. I don't know where the money went, I just like I tossed her fucking wallet because I'm like, all right, well, like I gotta stick to the story, and I get back, and she's like, thanks for the like thanks, like can you help me look for my phone? So I'm like looking for her wallet. I was like, I'm looking for her wallet fucking with her,
right?
And like I'm pretty sure she suspected, but after that we just never talked. So I was on some like dirt baggy shit, and low-key I gotta watch out for that shit, because now that like I'm kind of like I'm with my girl, so I'm not gonna fuck with anyone else, but that still has like some type of fucking play in it. Because like before I was with my girl, I did my first podcast with PLP, and I talked about 2 Tinder dates that I've been on. I'll tell one of them later on, but the one that like got me in trouble was I was talking about how this one girl catfished me like real fucking bad. Like real fucking bad catfish. She looked so cute, like a little like goth girl, gamer girl. Mm-hmm. And then when I met her, she was a goddamn linebacker. she looked like she could have been a general of the Mexican fucking
Brown Militia
podcast. Brown Militia podcast. But I was like, fuck. And like the thing is, I told the story and whatever, and I was saying some fucked up shit. I'm not gonna even cap. I was saying some fucked up shit, and like I didn't think of anything of it. She blocked me. I thought I blocked her or whatever. And there was one time where me and my girl were with each other, and we were just kind of going through it. We were kind of like arguing a little bit. I don't really like to argue, but we were kind of like, she was festering in like the little bit of the attitude. Mm-hmm. And I feel like my phone vibrate, and I like look up real quick, and I see the girl's name, and I just like half second go up, go down. And my girl, like fucking eyes of a hawk, sees it real quick. She's like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, I think it was that girl. I think she texted me and she's like, nah, like, let me see the fucking phone. Let me see the messages. And I was like, all right, well, like, I'm like, I show her, like, and she set it up like, if like, oh, she's like, oh, why are you talking shit if you were hitting me up, like this and that. And she made it seem like I was like talking to her actively. Right. And my girl starts crying and I'm like, I give her like the spill. I'm like, baby, I promise, like, I would never cheat. I've never cheated in my life. Like, this is that. And for girls, like, you hear that shit every time your man cheats. Like, real life, everyone says the same thing. But I really, really, really wasn't cheating. And so she starts crying and I was like, and I text her, I was like, oh, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, you know what I'm talking about. And I was like, the podcast, question mark? And she's like, yeah, the podcast, you fuck, like, started going off. I was like, all right, whatever, I'm not gonna fucking talk to you anymore. And I tell my girl, I was like, look, see, she's talking about shit that happened in the past. Like, I'm sorry that, like, what I said kind of come bit me in my ass. You can even look at the messages, and it was also during my fucking dirtbag era. So you can see the messages. I'm like, fucking degrading the shit out of her, you know, saying some fucked up things like, well, I'm gonna fucking piss on you, like some fucked up shit. And like, and while she's like low key like into it, she was really into it. She was sending me like pictures, and then like when I was like done, I was like, all right, like I came, like you can stop. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I really miss you, like this and that. And I just like liked her message, and that was it. And so like that shit like low key came back and like bit me in the fucking ass. You ever have shit anything like that, like
bite me in the ass like that?
Yeah, like any girl come up like that, like from your past, and your girl like seen or heard about it?
No, not this girl that I've been with.
Just the last couple hundred.
Nothing that I could think of, dog. But I don't know. I just I've only, it's hard to say, like, I don't want to say I've only been with girls that are not from my city, but like I haven't really been with girls from my city since like high school, dog. Oh yeah. So that kind of keeps me like.
What about now that you do podcasts? Because that girl's not from my city. She's from San Diego. And she just, I mean, I guess she's a fan of the podcast.
There's definitely girls that hit me up for the podcast, you know, but like, you can just tell when they're like, I think some girls just want attention, dog.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so I try to be nice. I try to be cordial, but like, oh, hey, what's up? And then like, you kind of start, because at first I would just like block people. Yeah. That would hit me up. And they were my friends, but then I'm like, okay, what's the point of having a podcast if you keep blocking all your quote unquote fans, you know? So I honestly, dog, I had to talk with my girl. I'm like, hey, look, I just want to let you know that if girls hit me up from the podcast, like, I'm gonna be cordial with them and I'm gonna keep it cool because they're the ones watching this shit and being supportive and shit. And there's girls that sometimes leave comments like, damn, Mo's always looking good on the podcast. Oh, Mo, my favorite.
You probably got a fat cock. Oh, look at the way he's sitting. You gotta sit sideways.
So some girl put like, Mo always comes with the flyest fits. Like, oh, my favorite Mexican podcaster. Like, he's so cute or whatever. Oh. And so I'm like, damn, dude, like, what am I gonna do? You know? So I told my girl, hey, man, just let you know that shit happens. Like, I'm gonna stop blocking them. Like, because I think they're just like looking for attention. They just want to be like, oh, some acknowledgement, like, oh, I'm here, I'm watching your podcast. And so I just message them back, or like you said, double tap and shit.
Yeah. At what like weight realm are those girls usually at? If you had to say.
You were in your fucking, what'd you call it? Your dirtbag era. I am not in my dirtbag era. I love all my fucking I love all my fans. I love all my fans, no matter what shape and size.
Yeah, me too, for sure, 100%. But even like, you know, even the linebackers, you know, are welcome to, you know.
Again, I have a girl, so it doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but it's funny. Like, I mean, it becomes part of like all this shit.
I feel like such a dick. The last 2 minutes or whatever I just said, I'm gonna sound like such an asshole now.
No,
oh, my fucking girl for a podcast is fucking wonderful.
No, bro, low-key, in comparison, bro, like, I'm gonna get heat. I already know. Like, just the shit that I say there, I'm like, wow, this guy's actually a dick. Like, why did you have him? Like, you know? Yeah. But that's good. Controversy is very good.
Especially for a podcast, it's gotta be entertaining.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you ever hate, or do you ever get any hate comments like, oh, like, well, like I got a hate comment, or someone was hating on a post we did this week, and it said like, look at these cloud chasers talking about this and that. Like, it's literally a podcast, bro. Like, we're here not trying to be boring and shit. Like, we're trying to be, you know, funny, entertain the people. Like, some of these stories may be true. Some of these stories may be just made up freestyle right now. But the point is, we want to entertain you guys and make sure you guys are laughing out there. Just like something to listen to on the way home from work or whatever, you know? Yeah. And people don't get that.
Well, like, I'll tell you this much. I can make up stories or be a good storyteller. But, like, so far on every podcast that I've ever been on, like, and every story that's made public, it was, like, 100%, like, true. Mm-hmm. And, like, everything. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell you down to the goddamn names, you know? And there was one time where I did a clip with PLP, and it blew up pretty good. It's like almost like 900K on TikTok, you know?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and like it was about my first fight. and everyone was like, cap, like this, that, whatever, like that's something that never happened, like whatever, like they just like want like have something to say. I'm like, that's fine, like as long as y'all keep commenting and viewing.
Would you do
I'm
like
chilling.
Superman punch somebody to death or something?
Nah, bro, I accidentally fucked up an autistic kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I very on accident.
That's fucked up, dog.
No, bro, that
I don't
fool
know
hit
why
me
I laughed. I
first.
shouldn't have laughed.
Yeah. Let me get you a tattoo of a puzzle piece. But no, he hit me first, bro. It was in middle school.
Now you gotta tell a story.
You want me to tell a story? Yeah. All right, so I'll tell you like 2 stories back to back. They're both first times, but this is my first time I ever been in a fight.
Okay.
And so, in middle school, like you had to like change in the lockers and shit like that. And I had like my little homies all in my corner, which is kind of gay thinking about it now, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So we were all getting changed and we're talking, like shooting the shit, whatever. And I don't know, this fucking kid like punches the fuck out of me. And I'm like, look, I like didn't fall or anything. I was just kind of like scared, like
in the face,
like in my yeah. And I like look at him, like what the fuck? And I look back at my homies, and like, well, fuck him up then. And I was like, I like turn and I see red, and I just start started like not hitting his face, but I'm like fucking up his body and shit like that. And he's like, ugh, like dropping to the ground and shit. And I open up the fucking locker and I'm like, and I like fucking skull crush this motherfucker. And like I get up, I'm like, yeah, like let's go. And I was like, Davey. I'm like, yeah, and like. Obviously, I go up into the office, but they got me in cuffs, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what's going on? Like this and that."
And they cuffed you, dog?
They cuffed my shit, and like, "What's the fuck's going on?" And then the security's like, "The guy you beat up is autistic, right?" And I'm like, "No." Like, I just fell to my knees. Oh no. But
that gives a different meaning to the phrase "fighting autism."
Yeah, literally fighting autism. That's a good one, bro. I'm gonna start making shirts. Oh yeah. One of the jokes I say when I say that is that like I actually cured his autism. Bro's just fucking.
He's just it now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's just a Dallas fan.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, real.
But like at no point, like you never seen this kid before. You don't know who he was.
I seen him, but I never. You just think someone's fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't like autism isn't like Down syndrome, and they don't all look the same. They don't all like it's like it's not noticeable. Like they're not like some of them are in extreme cases, but like if he's not like an extreme case, you know what I mean? If he's dressing out with this, must not be that bad.
That was fucked up. That was funny as fuck, but fucked up. And it's true. Like, they don't all look the same. At least Down syndrome, you could tell, like, all right, this person. Like,
yeah.
Even, like, have you ever seen a black person with Down syndrome?
No. Nah, bro, they got those out here. They got a different selection out here.
What I'm trying to say is... What I'm trying to say is no matter if you're black, white, Asian, well, they all kind of look Asian.
Yeah,
right?
you have different selection.
Like I have an aunt. She's like 35, 36, and she has autism, and like she looks like nothing like nobody from our family. Like they have that face, those eyes, pretty much the eyes, right?
You talking about Down syndrome? You said autism.
Oh my bad, Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Like
they have the eyes. They all look the same.
Yeah, they all look the same, which is crazy. Isn't that a fucking trip, dog?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's genetics. They just have extra chromosomes.
It's so crazy.
They got something to hand out. It's just fucking funny. They all look the same.
It's a fucked up thing to say, huh?
No, not really, bro. It was more funny that like we started getting racial about it.
No, but I was trying to say like no matter what race you are.
Yeah, no matter what, that was funny.
I'm not being racist, though.
No, but another first one, and this one was people didn't believe, but not like I'm telling you, like if you don't think I'm good looking, it is fine. But like this girl was also not good looking to me.
Okay.
But like this is the first time I ever like was on Tinder, and there was like I didn't know what to expect. Like I was told that it's a hookup app. So like I'm like kind of like, all right, well that's kind of what I'm thinking. And this girl's not like fine, you know what I mean? But she's like a little cute enough to hang out with.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And so she's like, oh, let's go get something to eat. I'm like actually like fucking hungry, bro. So I go and pick her up. We go to In-N-Out, and I'm like, yeah, like can I get I get my order. My order is like a double or number one, with a fucking Dr. Pepper, and she's like, oh, can I have some fries? And I was like, all right, bitch. Like, what the fuck? I mean, like, we ain't rash around here. I know you're hungry too, And so she like gets her fries or whatever, and like we go in the car and we eat them and we start talking and then we just start like making out. Like I got away with words. I could start like, And so we start making out, and then I'm like, oh, is there anywhere like nearby that like we could like go? And she's like, yeah, just up this neighborhood. And like the way we parked, like I parked on the side of a house, but like their front yard, if you walk out and look to the right, you can see where we're at. And so we hop in the back, and I only have like my pants like like right here, and like she like starts topping me up, and like it was pretty like fire. I mean, like fuck, she was going on for a long time, and like I give her like like the courtesy tap, the little like hey like I'm about to fucking nut, like get the fuck off, So I like give her like the courtesy tap, and then she just keeps like going like crazy, and I'm like tapping her hard until I'm like like dude like chill like, and then like I'm just like completely just like fucking fire hose like nutted in the mouth in her mouth, you know what I mean, like completely nutted, and like she gets up and she looks at me like dead in the eyes, and like she swallows, and like for the first like split second I was like yo like that's pretty fire, and then like immediately right after post nut clarity hit me, and I was like ugh, bitch, I just met you. Like, I just met you. Like, bro, what the fuck? And like, and she's like, all right, my turn. And she like lays back, like, all like, lays back and shit. And she like gets fucking full naked, bro. Like, she's like hot as fuck in the car, And she's like full naked. And then like, I'm like thinking, I'm like,
was she hot though?
She was cute.
Okay.
Like, But like that, like I'm gross because like I'm like bro, like how many times have you done this? Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's a real.
How many times, bro? Like this is not the first time. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, dude, like I don't know if I could do it because then I think about like how many guys have like fucked, and then I start thinking about STDs, and like my shit's now soft. And the thing is weird because like I really do love eating pussy. Like that's my shit. Like I really do love eating pussy. But so she's laying back, and I'm like thinking, I'm like, dude, there's gotta be a way I can get out of this. Like this and that. Like fuck, I don't want to fucking do this. I'm like start overthinking it, and I look up like kind of like over her shoulder, and she's like, what? Like is someone outside? And I'm like, I ran with it. I was like, yeah, don't move. Like some guy just came out of the car and he's on his phone. And she's like, oh my God, like we got to get out of here. She says, I'm like, all right. And I like pull up my pants like real quick, and I like hop in the front seat, and like obviously there's nobody fucking there. And I start driving to her house, and while she's like in the back just like swinging, trying to put her shit on, bro, because I'm driving. And like by the time she fully gets like dressed, like I'm pulling up in front of her house, like, all right, well, like, I'll see you later, yeah. And she's like, yeah, thanks for the fries, Fucking bitch.
You never hit her up again?
No, never, ever. Well, she ended up making another Tinder, and like later on, like a year later, she like matched with me again, and she was down to like link up again, and I was like,
damn. So you think that she just like does this all the time?
She had to.
She has just randomly hooking up with guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like no like shade on anybody, because like your sexual experience is your sexual experience. Like nobody's like.
How old did it say she was?
She was 19.
Oh man.
Because I was like 18, 19 as well. Well, I was like 19. We're the same age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And maybe she had a boyfriend. She was just out there like, being a little cheater.
Maybe.
You ever been a side piece?
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like.
How do you find yourself in those situations? Like, how'd you get into
that? Like usually it's like I knew like beforehand, and like I didn't like I made it like approachable, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I was like, oh, like if you want to fuck, like I don't mind, you know what I mean? Like I didn't say something, but I made it approachable where where we talk and stuff like that. I was like, why don't you just leave your man? She's like, no, I won't, like this and that. I was like, well, why don't you just cheat on him then? And they're like, no, I can't, I don't do that. Like even though listen, 99% of girls are cheaters. Like there's like, I mean, even if your girl is loyal to you now, at some point she was a cheater. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like more girls cheat than men. But anyways, like I would kind of like make that available for them to kind of like, start talking. And I would like shoot the shit with them too. You know what I mean? And then when it like, they like that shit. They like the rush of like, oh, it's a secret. Like no one knows. And like, they really like that shit. So if you kind of play that part where it's like, hey, I know my part. I'm not going to come and hit you up like this and that. Like they're fine with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it can really fuck you. Like it really, really fuck you depending on how like do it. Different situations. Like another like story that happened was that like one of my main friend groups kind of broke apart because of this, and I kind of feel fucked up. But like me and like this one girl, like we were casually hooking up, and like I was feeling her, and I told my homies like, yeah, me and this girl are hooking up, this and that, whatever. And she was like, when they would ask her, she'd be like, no, like no, we're not, like this and that, whatever. And they would tell me, they're like, oh, well, she's telling us something totally different. And I was like, well, all right, well, I'll back off. I'm not really like tripping. Like, I'm not like gonna like be like, oh, like you need to like come with me, Right. But so I would like back off, and then like we would drink, and then she'd be like, hey, can I come over? Like this and that, and like we get down. I would like literally like be like we're different couches right here, and she'll come like sit next to me, and then like she's like, let's go lay down, and like I'm like, all right, and then we would like hook up and everything, and then when I told my homies like, oh, like we're hooking up, whatever, and they're like, I don't know, bro, she's saying something different, whatever. And so me and her ended up stopped talking, but we're still cool friends. But then she brings her like her work best friend around, and like I immediately clicked with her. It wasn't like I didn't think it was anything sexual. I thought she was just cool. But we were going to a rave together, and she's like, oh, like can I kick it with you? I don't really know anyone else. Like, and I was like, yeah, for sure. I don't really care, you know. And when we get there, she's like giving me like the feeling, bro, like really like, oh, like giving me like, you know, we started dancing at first, and it was a New Year's event. It was countdown. It was a rave, and I was like, and we started.
How do you dance at a rave with girls? Oh, you twerking on them?
Nah, she's just throwing it back, and you're just kind of like step.
That's what I meant to say. My bad. That's
yeah, it's like grinding, bro.
Is it really?
Yeah, literally, bro.
To techno?
Yeah, it's like poop, 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 poop. You know what I mean? No, but I don't know.
Never been to one. Sorry, no.
Yeah, so I mean, drugs have a major influence too.
Okay.
And so I tell him like, hey, so like, are you gonna be my New Year's kiss or what's going on? And she's like, I don't like no, like the snap. But we started like making out way before.
But you already had stopped fucking with the other girl.
She already had a different man.
Okay.
She had a whole ass relationship, and we already stopped fucking around for like a year and a half, you know.
Okay.
And so like we're like dancing, making out, whatever. And then the rave ends, and like I'm going home. Like I'm like whatever. I don't like. I'm not tripping. And she goes and she's staying the night at her friend's house.
Right.
And that girl I used to hook up with, she was like, hey, she wants to come and smoke. Like, you want to come through and like we'll all kick it? And I was like, yeah, for sure, fuck it. So I like go over and I hop in the back seat of like their car. So like it's the girl I used to hook up with, her man, and then the girl I was hooking up with right now. Mm-hmm. And like she was, I mean, like I said, drugs had a little bit of play with it. She was a little all over me, and she was like just like kind of like really like, I'm like, yo, like stop, or like she kept grabbing my shit, and I was like, yo, like you like yo, like we're in the backseat of the car right now, like you gotta chill. And like they kind of kept making comments about it because we kept like making out and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I borrow, like, her name was Alina, I was like, you mind if I borrow Alina for like 15 minutes? You know, like I made it like so awkward, like it's obvious, you know, I made it so obvious. And they're like, yeah, go ahead, like whatever. And then so we go, and like, I mean, we were gone for a while, you know, longer than 15 minutes. So we were gone for a while, and I'm bringing her back, and I was like, hey, like it was cool, like, you know.
You guys went to like a room or something?
No, we just in my car.
Oh, yeah. You guys left that car, went to your car.
Yeah, just a maniac, you know.
Yeah.
And then fucking she comes out and she's like, hey, you don't think the other girl's gonna be like upset? And I was like, no, like we used to hook up, but like, bro, she got a whole ass man. Like, why would she be upset? Like, you know, whatever. And like, she knows she could have said anything at any point, you know. And then she's like, okay. And for me, that night ended. That's where I didn't know what the fuck happened afterwards. But I wake up the next morning, and I got a text from both of them basically saying, you're such a piece of shit, like this and that, like whatever. You're such a piece of shit, like this and that. And then I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you talking about?
They both said the same thing?
Yeah, they're both saying the same thing. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I guess what had happens when she got out of the car, that girl kind of went up and pressed her, and she was like, Alina, did you just fuck Davey? And she was like, no. And then she had text me, the other girl text me, and she's like, did you fuck Alina? I was like, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie about it. And then, like, that the next day is when, like, all that shit happened. And then the other girl that was first hung over was still keeping the same thing. Like, we never, like, we, like, would make out, and I would go over, but we never had sex, like, this and that. Like, keeping to her fucking word. And I was like, bro, like, what do you, like, okay, you're the one changing stories. Like, oh, nothing's happening. And now it's like, oh, we just didn't have sex. Like, you're tripping. And then the other girl was like, I guess the whole issue is that Alina was engaged. Like, she was like a fiance. Like, her friend was like about to get married.
The girl that you just hooked up with?
Yeah, the girl that I just hooked up with. And I had no idea. And I wouldn't have cared. But I would have known to like not fucking say anything. But she didn't tell me anything. And so like that caused a big problem. They ended up having a big old argument over it. And then like the boyfriend's kind of like, why do you care? And then that became like an issue because like, why do you care so much about who he's fucking? Like, you know, like, and then it was like a weird fucking thing for like a month and so. So like shit like that could really, really catch up to you. So like, I don't know, bro. You got to be careful when it comes to like fucking around with different girls, and like, especially if they're with somebody, you know?
You rave people, man.
I know, it was fun though. But like one more thing. It was funny because one of my homegirls, she's like, she's a very like good looking woman, and she's married now and has a kid and everything. I'm not gonna say her name, but she's like married to a Marine, and like she had shared with us about how like she has to cut her fingernails off and like, you know, this and that because her man likes a little ass play, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
And like that she eats his ass and all this stuff, like, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's fucking kind of gross, you know what I'm saying?
Why would she tell you
And then
that?
and then anyways, they were at the rave. Like she was already with her man when they were first dating, and like she had told us all this shit. And then my other homie comes up and he's like low key. I mean, he's a decent looking guy, but he's kind of like, nah, like really on her level type of deal. And like drugs have a play in it, and they were like start making out and stuff like that. And like I was kind of excited for him for a bit, and then when he pulls out, I was like, and I start to remember, I was like, yo, bro, like they were just with each other before the rave, bro, and you're making out with her, and she probably ate his ass. I was like, yeah, poopy, bro.
Thank you for watching. We'll end this fucking podcast on that. Thank you. Shout out to David pulling up. Shout out to everybody. Love you guys.
Love y'all.